We're not going to keep you here for an hour and a half. We're just going to do all the updates so everyone can be aware of what's going on. So welcome for coming. Just because there's a few of us, if there's anything you want to do, just put your hand up or just shout over us, and we'll take it from there, really. So for those of you that have welcome. Hopefully this will be better in September. I think we've picked better dates. So just moving forward, the first thing we're going to talk about is the One NHS Finance Programme update, and I'm going to hand that over to Megan to do. So over to you, Megan.
Thanks, Karen. So just a quick update from us about some of the things that are going on at the moment. So we are launching a One NHS Finance crowdsourcing conversation, which is designed to sort of help us with the ongoing development of all our programmes. So this is similar to, if you remember back in 2020 when we launched the conversation that designed ONF, it's sort of a check-in for that. So it's been launched at the Leadership Summit conference, which is taking place today and tomorrow. If you haven't already booked on, you can book online and just watch the live stream of that event. So some really interesting conversations going on there. But the crowdsourcing conversation is just an opportunity for you guys to feedback to us on sort of how you think we've done against our 5-year strategy and the progress we've made since we launched ONF. And through this conversation, our aim is to basically identify a couple of new priorities for all our national programmes and regional boards. So please do go check out the platform. If you don't, we can pop a link for it in the chat. And once you're on there, it's super easy to use. It's you can add, there's a couple of different conversations which are themed, and you can add your own comments, or if you go on and someone has commented about something, you can sort of reply to those comments, have a bit of a conversation. And basically we're going to collate all of the comments that are made, and that's going to shape the direction of sort of ONF and all the training and development that we put on for the finance community. So it's really important conversation, and really good to have as many people's opinions as possible. So I'll pop that in the chat and definitely just go check it out. The applications for Go and Beyond Career Shapers and Accelerate Deputies closed last Friday. So if you did apply, we're currently reviewing all of those applications, and we hope to have an outcome for everyone by next week. But the Career Developers Programme applications, they're still open till the end of the month. So if you're looking to apply to that, you've still got time. We're coming to the end of our summer event season at the moment. So we've only got one webinar left before September, and that's our How to Distress webinar on the 13th of July, and that's online. But we are busy putting together all sorts of different webinars, showcases and conferences for the September to December period. So please do head over to our events page, have a look at what's coming up. There's loads of really interesting sessions. And then the one thing I wanted to just plug was VMAC. So we've pretty much finalised the agenda. We're just looking for 1 or 2 more speakers, but our guest speaker has been confirmed, and it's a gentleman called Elliot Ray. He's a speaker, author and social change maker. He is one of the UK's most prominent speakers on fatherhood, masculinity and men's mental health. So it'll be a really interesting session. We've not actually done a session around this before, so I'm really looking forward to it myself. He's also the founder of the parenting platform Music Football Fatherhood. And the BBC have said it's called the Mum's Net for Dads. So really interesting topic there. We've got lots of good sessions along with a big lunchtime exhibition, which we haven't done in a few years. So there's going to be loads of different stalls, lots of chance to network, things like that. So don't miss out, book your place for the in-person session because there are limited spaces. And of course, we're going to have the annual Value Maker Awards. So these are now open, so you can start submitting your nominations now, between now and October. So you've got loads of time. We've got a few new categories. I'll send you the link to the page on our website where it tells you all about the awards, how to nominate and who's eligible. So please start having a little think about your colleagues and teammates who you think have really gone and above and beyond this year, who you'd like to put forward for an award. So that's everything from me on the ONF updates. Anyone got any questions at all?
I've got one. is it possible? You gave us tons of information. Can you just do a one sheet of A4 with all the links on and send it out to everybody so everyone's aware of where to go and what to do? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. So Becky
Yeah.
will circulate an email like she normally does, and we'll just do all the links in there, so you can just click on it and head to the different pages.
Brilliant. I think Sunita had her hand up and put it back down. Sunita, is that you? Did you? What's your question?
Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you. What's your question?
It was a thumbs up because I liked your idea.
Oh, sorry. Thumbs up. Okay. Are there any? I'm going to put myself back on mute in a second. It's got loud in here. Are there any questions for anyone on that, or is everyone just happy with the sheet of A4 so we can just use that? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're on mute, Karen.
Sorry. Thank you. Charlie, you're going to give us an update on the Regional Finance Academy? Can you hear us now? Oh, you can.
I can, yeah. I was having tech issues. Apologies. Let me just quickly share my screen. Okay, so I'm just going to provide a super quick update on the progress from the London Finance Academy since our last meeting. So firstly, I just wanted to mention the upcoming London Regional Annual Conference for 2023. So this one-day event taking place on the 12th of October at the London Marriott Regent's Park will bring colleagues from across the region together to reconnect, reflect and learn as we adapt to the ever-changing world of the NHS. So this year the conference will be delivered jointly by HFMA, London Finance Academy and the SDN to ensure an even bigger and better event for this year. So we will be delivering a diverse programme, including keynote speakers, plenary facilitators and motivational speakers. We have some great speakers confirmed so far, including Hannah Whitty and Caroline Clark, who will be providing regional and national NHSE updates. And we have colleagues from BART speaking on health inequalities in the NHS. We will also be running a series of development workshops throughout the day. And this year we'll be holding networking drinks reception and a gala dinner accompanied by a regional award ceremony. So the awards are due to launch this week, and therefore please consider nominating your colleagues to recognise the great work taking place within your organisations. The London Academy will be subsidising one free ticket for each London organisation, and then each additional ticket will be available at a discounted rate. Therefore, I encourage you all to book your place. So more information is available on the HFMA website, so I will be sure to circulate the slides with the link attached. So next, I wanted to highlight the great work taken place within the region around promoting a career in NHS finance. So we've had a whole host of volunteers come forward to go out to local schools and colleges in their areas to promote a career in NHS finance and raise awareness of available opportunities, including the London pilot of the NHS Finance Insight Placement Scheme, where ONF are planning to appoint 5 school leavers into year-long paid work placements in the NHS, which is starting in August in London this year. These placements are reserved for pupils from disadvantaged backgrounds who would not be planning to go to university. And from these visits alone, we've had over 20 applications, which is really great to see. So if you did want to get involved in going out to your local schools, then please do get in touch and we can make those links for you. And then at the last meeting, I updated on the great work taking place within the Women in Leadership Network. Since then, we've held 2 confidential discussions with around 25 women working in the NHS across London. And these events were designed to provide a safe space for women with a purpose to enable women in the NHS to share details of their lived experiences in the workplace and develop a clearer understanding of the current challenges and potential barriers. So we offered 2 sessions during the day to provide more women with the opportunity to attend and to also create a safe space and encourage open sharing. So during the day, feedback was anonymously collected and a report was produced outlining the key messages from the session and summarising the suggested action areas raised by the group. So some of the key themes to come out of the report were social norms, gendered opportunities and microaggressions. So the report is now live on the website, so I encourage you all to kind of have a read. It is a bit of a hard read, but it is really crucial for us to collectively understand the experiences of our colleagues and to take responsibility for promoting gender equity within the workplace. We are currently putting together a detailed action plan to give clearer objectives on what needs to be done to support this agenda, and that will be published soon as well. So just an overview of what's coming up for the rest of the year. So as mentioned, we've got the upcoming London Regional Conference. So as I said, please book your place. We'll soon be launching a regional EDI action plan, which will help support the national EDI ONF action plan. We'll also be running a series of allyship events on how to best support our underrepresented colleagues. We'll be launching an action plan, as mentioned, to support the recently published listening event report, and we'll be rerunning our HFMA competition for 15 funded places at the December conference this year. And then lastly, just a quick update on progress of London since my last update. So we've slightly increased numbers in all areas, which is great to see. Health and wellbeing has increased significantly from 23 to 31 ambassadors, thanks to Satiris for reaching out to organisations. We're looking to put a real focus on health and wellbeing for the remainder of the year and moving forward. I don't think we're going to have time in this session, but hopefully at kind of the next one, we can have a bit of a group discussion on kind of what you guys want to see and what would be helpful for the region. And then we also have 3 ICSs going for the level 2 accreditation system submission. So we're looking for a whole new cohort to submit for level 2 in December, which is fantastic. And then, as mentioned last time, these are all the kind of ways you can get involved. I won't repeat them, but I'm happy to share the slides with all the links included. And that's it from me.
Brilliant. Thank you, Charlie. Any questions? Clear as mud for everybody? Thank you, Charlie. As per normal, thank you very much for giving us an update, guys. There's a lot out there. We'll make sure that it gets sent to everybody, not just you guys that are here. But you know, we have to remember that we are really in a really good place at the moment where we're being encouraged to take in part. We're encouraged to learn and develop ourselves. So please, if you do get the opportunity, take them up. If you can't personally, please share with your colleagues in your organisation. You know, we're in really difficult financial times, and the fact that we still manage to maintain our training, development, learning opportunities, we need to make sure we fill our places and take part. So that's my plea to you all, just to get involved. Okay, so thank you very much. So next we're moving on to the Returnship Programme. So over to you, Rebecca. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, sorry.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Just caught the
Rebecca.
end of Charlie's last presentation.
Yes. Hi. Hi.
Hi. I'll just try and share. Hang on. Is that working?
Yeah, we can see it.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. And has it moved on as well? Yeah. Perfect. So I'm Rebecca Edwards. I'm Head of Commercial Delivery at the wholly owned subsidiary at Chesterfield Royal. But I also do 1 day a week working for ONF. And Charlie and Megan have asked me if I'd come along today to talk to you about something exciting that we're doing with London, because we're currently running a pilot of support for people who've come back to work after a period of parental leave. So I'm here today to tell you all about it, so you can hopefully get us more recruits as we go forward with this programme. So how this all came about, Nisha Mystery, a colleague of ours, came to One NHS Finance a number of years ago now and just said, you know, within finance, I think we could do more to support people when they've been on maternity leave or a long period of leave. And that was something that very much rang a bell with myself. And I very much said, yeah, I agree. I think there is more that we could do. But we wanted to make sure that that wasn't just the two of us with that viewpoint. So we ran a national survey through One NHS Finance and had a lot of people taking part in that. And the feedback that we got was that there was definitely something that we needed to do to support people when they first return from parental leave, but then also something before that around just letting line managers know about the different options that there are out there, and letting individuals know about the different options that there are now around parental leave. So we started off doing quite a lot of work where we launched a guide for individuals who are about to go on parental leave, a guide for line managers, both of which are out and are on their website and are being used. We're getting feedback saying that people are using that and finding that a help. And then we also developed a e-module for line managers so that they could just go on, answer some questions and just try and test themselves to see whether they were up to date with the latest information around parental leave. And then obviously if they find that there's gaps in their knowledge and that things have moved on, it then links them to the appropriate guide to get them up to speed. So we did all of that bit. But we were still very clear that we needed to do something in either that first 6 months or first 12 months of somebody coming back from a period of parental leave. And if I'm really honest, this was the tricky bit. So this was the bit that took a lot of head scratching for us to get that right. We knew that what we wanted to do was develop this supportive community of new parents. So trying to stop people from feeling isolated when they first come back and feeling like they've got a cohort that they can turn to for support. We also recognise that the keeping in touch days can be varied across different organisations. So actually there was something around trying to get people up to date with things that had happened in that period while they've been on parental leave. And then also this thing around trying to help them to get a buddy so that they can make it as supportive as possible when they come back. So very much the aim of this programme was about helping these new parents to feel confident, feel supported, and then to create this inclusive and accommodating environment for working parents. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what the aims of the group was about. We were very clear that whatever support we put in place, it needed to be timely, it needed to be accessible, and it needed to be relevant. And if I'm honest, that's where we started to hit the tricky parts, because we'd kind of say, oh, it'd be really great to bring these individuals on the cohort together face to face so that they get a really strong relationship built between them. But we also recognise that if this is a national programme and we put something on in Manchester, that's not accessible to people who've then got to travel 2-3 hours to get to that event. So we played around with a number of different things, but we felt like we weren't really getting very far with it. And then Charlie came along, and the Females in Leaders group that you've got within London came along and said, look, we'd be happy to pilot something in London, and we'd be happy for you to try it out with a small group and then use them to shape what this might look like going forward. So that's essentially where we're at the moment. We've got this pilot group within London. We've got 7 individuals on that pilot, and we had our first welcome session yesterday, which was really great. It was really great to see that this has actually got some movement. And very much with this pilot, it's about testing out what will work for this group of individuals. Are they wanting virtual, or are they wanting in-person sessions? Are they wanting little bite-sized sessions of an hour length every month, or are they wanting to come and do a full day somewhere? And what are the sessions and topics that they want to cover within that programme? So like I say, we held the welcome session yesterday, which was really lovely. We were able to have a bit of a virtual introduction and a bit of an icebreaker so that people could share their stories and kind of get them to know one another. And then Charlie and I have already arranged the first 2 sessions of that programme, in that the first one's going to be a CFO presentation to them and giving them a chance to ask any questions that they might have within a safe space. So they'll be able to ask that CFO anything where they're thinking, do you know what, everybody's talking about this particular thing, but I don't know what it means because I've missed all of that. You know, it's a safe space to actually ask about that. Then in the second session, we're then looking at getting finance colleagues, so people from within the finance community, to come to a virtual session where they share their stories of their return to work experience. And that's very much about sharing kind of what went really well and what they would recommend that this cohort of individuals do within their first 12 months to make this return to work as good as it possibly can be. And potentially also, you know, with hindsight, it would have been great if I'd have done this and I really wish I'd have done that, and kind of just sharing some of their experiences with them. We've then got another 4 sessions, because what we've committed within this programme is to 6 sessions over a 6-month period. So we've got another 4 sessions that we've started to talk to that group about, where we're saying, these are the things that we've got in mind, but what do you think? So allowing them to help to shape what that programme would look like, so that we make sure that the sessions that we put on are as relevant to those individuals and the stage that they're currently at within their career. So the bits that we've kind of put out there for those later sessions is that potentially we could set up a facilitator for them to have some kind of action set style learning support, but being very clear that that's not about bringing a challenge or a problem that they've currently got at work. It might be that they want to work on something that's within their home life at the time, and that would be absolutely fine. Something around confidence building potentially, something about improving wellbeing and resilience. We talked in detail yesterday about time management, and probably not time management in the traditional style, but that thing of the boundaries that they now have set for themselves. So, you know, if nursery pickup is at 5:30, the fact that they have to leave on the dot at 5 o'clock, and how do you message that to your colleagues so that everyone's understanding what you can and can't do. Something potentially around career planning. So the fact that if this is their first period of parental leave, they might return to the workplace with a very different view of what that first 12 months of development might look like and what their development needs might be. And then potentially something around professional registration updates. So within One NHS Finance, we've got close links with the CCAB bodies and CIMA. So, you know, if they felt that they were wanting something around IFRS, I don't know why you'd want something around any kind of updates that they feel that they might need, we could potentially do some of that. So we've explained all of that to that group. We've got some feedback from them, and we'll now start shaping between Charlie and I what that might look like, and whether they're workshops, whether they're virtual, whether they're in person development sessions that we put on going forward. Alongside those monthly sessions, there's some other bits that we're very keen on at this cohort getting involved in, and there's something around them continuing to have that session that they had yesterday, where it was very much a chat about, you know, how are you? What does your life look like at the minute? What are the challenges? What do you want to get out of the programme? We're very much encouraging them to try and do that on a regular basis. So we will be setting up monthly virtual group check-ins for them that they can do over MS Teams, and kind of grab a coffee and have a half-hour check-in with one another. But we're also trying to get them to be a bit more proactive, and if there's an event coming up that one of them's going on, to just, you know, message around everybody else and say, are you at the Value Maker conference, for example, shall we meet up? So just trying to make as many opportunities as they can to meet up, but doing it in a sensible way that's not putting too much stress and pressure on them. We'll also be trying to make sure that we signpost to them regional events of interest. So they probably will get stuff through anyway in the normal way through the newsletters that they receive. But if there's anything that we spot on there that we think might be particularly of interest to that group of individuals, we'll make sure that we're signposting those to them. And then towards the end of their sessions, we'll also start to signpost them to other relevant ONF programmes. So, you know, they might not be ready at that stage, but we might be able to tell them about, for example, the sponsorship programme, which in a few years' time might be something that they want to think about applying for. We've also been really keen about almost saying to them that it'd be a really good idea for them to find a buddy. And that's not about being strict and saying it has to be somebody within finance, but just somebody who's probably 2-3 years ahead of them in respect of being back from parental leave, just having somebody within the organisation that they can have an objective chat with, or that they can reach out to when they feel that they need to. So I will stop there with my kind of bombarding you of what this is all about. I suppose the reason that I'm here and the reason that I'm talking to you all about this is we want to try and get the message out there as much as we can. Charlie's doing an amazing job of sending comms out, and you probably will have already seen that, but it's just, you know, back in your organisations, if you know that there's somebody who's on parental leave at the moment, you know, just let us know, and let them know about the programme, so that if this pilot's successful and we do get the funding to be able to continue it after this group, then, you know, people are aware of it, and we've kind of got a waiting list ready of people who want to join it. I'm also asking, you know, if you have had a return to work recently and you would be willing to come along and share your story on that second session, please get in touch with Charlie, and we'll let you know the dates and see whether we can fit that in as well. And then just another final plea around, if you haven't looked at the other resources that we've already got out there on the ONF website around parental leave, I would encourage you to have a look at those. And I think I felt that I knew all I needed to know about maternity leave, and then shared parental leave and things like that have come around since I went on maternity leave. And to be honest, I didn't really know anything about it and was not clued up on what employees can ask for. So there's lots of information within there, and if that's something that you think would be of interest, please have a look and access that on the ONF website. And that's it from me. So I will stop sharing at that point and open it up for if anyone's got any questions.
Anyone? No. I've got one. So I suppose, Mike, so you're doing your pilot in London. I take it
Yeah.
that consists of men and women.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah,
It does.
because of the shared parental leave. Yes.
Right, brilliant. And when do you think, so I know you've only had one session, but how quickly do you think the pilot will turn from a pilot into something moving forward and into a proper program? Because at the moment you're piloting it, right? So is there a plan after the pilot? Have we got that far yet?
The plan, if we can get a model that's successful and that will work, then the plan is to try to roll that out, because that is something that we have had support for. So we've had support already to run this program, but it was just that we were struggling to get started, to be honest, as to practicalities of where we're going to do it, how big the cohort's going to be and what have you. So this very much is let's see how it works through, and then we can work out what we're going to do next, because it might be that we get to the end and we say actually regional is better because it practicality wise just works, and then we'll have to put some thought into how we roll that out in the regions. But initially, so the initial support that we got was to run this as a national program, so it'll only be if we do any tweaks to that we'll perhaps have to go through the loops again.
Okay, thank you. Tanya, you had your hand up then down again. Is that because I asked the question?
Indeed. Thanks.
I mean, I was expecting people to ask, and I'll put this one out there, why the focus on parental leave? So we may, when we did the survey, we didn't just ask about parental leave. We asked questions about anybody who had had what we call a significant period of leave. So we said of 6 months or more. We're very clear that there's a need out there for other reasons, but both Nisha and I have got the experience of the parental leave bit. So we said, let's start with parental leave so that we're chunking it down and starting with something that we understand. But then once we've got that up and running, we'll look to see whether we can either open that cohort up or whether we need to run something separately for a different cohort of people.
Okay. Sonal, I think there's a question from you.
Hi. Yeah, so it was just around, you mentioned if there's people within the team that have recently returned from parental leave, that we could put their names forward. But I was just wondering, obviously I want to speak to them first and see if they're interested and see if they can obviously commit the time. So I was just wondering what kind of commitment they'd be looking for. Would it be a half-day session, or what would be involved if they are to be involved in the pilot?
And unfortunately, that's the bit that we can't 100% say. So the first 2 sessions were both running as just an hour virtual, but until we've agreed with that group what the further sessions are going to be like and how we're going to run them, it might end up being a half-day face-to-face workshop. So I've been very open with this cohort that it's not a polished, finalised programme that we're doing. This very much is a pilot, and we're working very much from getting their feedback day to day to kind of work what this might look like. But essentially, I can't see that it'd be more than half a day, to be honest, each month.
Perfect, thank you.
We do have a waiting list at the moment, don't we, Charlie, for if we've got one person on it, for if we need it again. But if that, I hope I'm not saying this out of turn, and Charlie will stop me if I am, but if that individual is coming back or is back now and they want to try and join this cohort, we have literally just done the welcome session, so we'd need to know pretty quickly, but I think we could tag somebody else on, couldn't we, Charlie? Yeah.
Any other questions for anyone else? No? Rebecca, thank you. That was really, really interesting, actually. And I think you again picked up my other question about what about other long-term leave.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that you've got, you know, potentially a plan for that in the future is pretty helpful, because we do have people that for whatever reason are off on long-term sick and they come back and they're in the similar situation to someone on paternity leave. So
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming along today.
No worries. Thank you.
No other questions. No other questions. Okay. So guys, we've already said, because, you know, my bad, we picked a date which is right in the middle of month end. So that's why we haven't got many people here. So we're not going to do the breakout session. And we're not going to do the feedback session, okay, today. So are there any other questions for anything else, for anyone else that wants to know, any other updates for anyone that anyone wants to share? No? Okay, well, if that's the case, then thank you all for coming. We'll make sure we won't do this again on the dates, and we'll see you at our next meeting, which I think is planned for September. Megan, help. I can't remember the date.
2 seconds. It is September the 21st. So is that a good week?
No,
Whilst
that's a
we
good
have
week.
people?
Yeah, to be fair, we picked the right weeks. It's just that last time it was audit and the whole world disappeared, and we just picked this date because we thought it'd be a good time. And it was my own fault, actually, because I should have realised it's month end. So apologies, and thank you for those that turned up. We'll make sure everyone gets a copy of the notes and the fact sheet that we've asked to be produced today. So that's my fault, so blame me. All right, so thank you all for coming, and hopefully we'll see you all and more of you in September.
Thank
Oh,
you. Take care.
hand
Thank
up.
you.
Oh, hand up, hand down, or was it? I don't know. Bye.
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 Thanks,
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Megan, hang on there for a sec. Is she gone? Oh, Megan's gone. Okay, don't worry. She's gone.